Very good evening to all of you. Dear friends, last time some of the students are giving a request to me, sir, you can go for the video in changing pedagogical perspective. Dear friends, in my last class, I have already completed the general principle of a teaching. That's why I'm thinking about the next class upon the psychological principle of a teaching. And before starting my class, just I am giving a request to all my loving and caring students, and I do these three basic activity and which helps to me to sustain this particular channel. You should do the like, you should share, and you should subscribe. And if you done this particular three activities, no doubt I'm psychologically ready to teach better, like inside the classroom, like the inside the physical classroom. Dear friends, in the last time I'm talking about the general principle of a teaching, and in this particular video I'm going to share the psychological principle of teaching. That means how the psychological principle helps a teacher to making the teaching learning process more effective and efficient in the classroom. Before going to the classroom, I'm sharing to my students, please do one thing: have a earphone with you, have a specific copy with you, have a pen, sit in a place, in a calm and quiet place by which we can listen to the video properly, and you can make your concept notes and try to reach at the concepts. If anything wrong you are getting, you can also inform to me in the message box also. And also, whenever you are getting the new points, you can also communicate with me by the message box also. Let's move, dear friends, and today's topic upon the psychological principle of teaching. Dear friends, if we're talking about this, difference if we're talking about this particular things, I'm talking about the principle of a teaching. First of all, before going to the psychological principle of a teaching, just I want to giving a recap to all of you the principle of a teaching. Principle of a teaching. Before going to the principle of a teaching, again, just I'm telling to all of you what is principle exactly. Difference the principles are the pathway which helps an individual to achieve the targets. Whenever you are having a target, whenever you are having a goal, during that particular time you have to find out a path, and if you are going in that particular way, you can easily reach at your target, or you can easily reach at your goal. Generally, if you are talking about generally, in a very simple sentence, I am telling principle means the rules. The principle means rules. And if we are talking about general principle of teaching that means it is the rules of the teaching. Before going to the this one, again I want to say to all of you, the principle of a teaching is a reason for effective teaching. That means, my dear friends, one thing here: if you are following the principle and you are teaching inside the classroom, and your teaching is going to be so wonderful, that particular principle, suppose I can say to all of you one more thing. I can say to all of you one principle. Suppose the principle of an individual difference. Suppose I'm telling, if I'm following this particular principle, if I'm teaching inside the classroom, and my classroom is going to be something different, because that particular principle helps to me to understand to my students. Whenever I'm understanding my students, I'm in a position to take a decision about the method of teaching. For this reason, my classroom is going to be something different. For this reason, I'm telling the principle of teaching is also a reason for the effective teaching. Basically, I'm sharing to all of you this particular principle of teaching broadly classified into the general principle and psychological principle. Difference, whatever about the general principle, we already completed my previous video, and if you want to understand, then you can go through the previous video. And today, I want to give a special focus upon the psychological principle. Difference, if you're talking about the psychological principle, the first of all, I am sharing to all of you the principle of motivation. As a teacher, what I understand while I'm inside the classroom, if I'm able to motivate my students towards my concepts and towards my classroom, I think so the half of the work and half of the work is done by the teacher inside the classroom. Motivation, you may motivate the students internally, you may motivate the students externally. Now a question arises, what internally and what externally? Internally means the students who understood the importance of education, no need to tell him to again and again go for the study. They are internally motivated, they can study, they can do the work is the best. And if you're talking about external study, that means you have to put a stimulus factor, and which is stimulating to the students to reach at the objective. But here, what I understand, I'm sharing to all of you, it means creating curiosity among the students to learn the new things. That means, as a teacher, you have to develop the curiosity power. The way, suppose I can give a best example. If you are able to motivate the students, suppose one student every day studying 1 hour in the evening time. If you are able to develop by your motivation, and if you are able to develop the curiosity among the by the students, then the students are going to rise up 1 hour study during the evening. And then you can say then you can say that particular that then you can say your motivation is success. Again, I want to say to all of you this particular things also. Motivation while you are in the classroom, first of all you have to motivate the students towards the classroom, and if you are able to motivate the students, if you able to develop the curiosity among the students, no doubt your classroom is going to be success, and really the students are going to enjoy, and a concept is going to be realized. This is all about the principle of motivation. I hope all of you understood. If anyone not getting understanding, you can ask to me also, also in the message box. Next, come back to the principle of interests. I hope the first one is so much clear, and if any problem you can ask to me in the message box also. Friends, let's move for the principle of interest. Interest means what I understand, the likeness and the dislikeness of students. And while I am inside the classroom as a teacher, if I able to create interests within the heart of the students towards my teaching, then no doubt my teaching is going to be success. And this is also coming on the purview of the psychological principle. By generating interest among the learner or community, the effectiveness of a teaching learning process can be enhanced. Once it is a very primary job of a teacher. If you are while you are teaching inside the classroom, if you are able to create interest within the heart of the students, I think your content is going to be realized inside the classroom. I think you can able to teach throughout the 45 minutes very effectively. This is also one of the wonderful psychological principle. As a teacher, you have to keep in mind while you are inside the classroom. Try to develop that particular interest. Once interest is coming, you are going to be a successful teacher. Okay, let's move for the next one. The friends, already I have already telling to all of you the two principles. One is the principle of motivation, second the principle of interest. Hope all of you understood this two terminology in a very positive way. Let's move for the third psychological principle of the teaching. Difference. One thing I want to say to all of you, the principle of providing training to the senses. From the very beginning of my class, I am telling the sense organs are the gateway of knowledge. There is a statement, as your sense organ, so your learning. As a teacher, your first and foremost duty to activate to the student's sense organ. Once the student's sense organs start to work actively, your classroom is going to be something different from the normal classroom. Due to the effective training of the senses, the power of observation, the power of discrimination, power of identification, the power of generalization, and the generalization, these are the ability is enhanced within the heart of the students, by which the students they can easily reach at the concept whatever the teacher teaching inside the classroom. Therefore, a teacher should make a proper arrangement of the training of the senses of his students for the realization of a better result. What I understand to these particular points, whenever you are inside the classroom, and try to give a special focus upon the student's sense organ, and the way suppose I can give a best example how you can having a positive impact while you are teaching as a teacher. If you are teaching very little bit loud communication is there, and you can able to also having an impact upon the students sense organ. For this reason, the teacher should there should be a special training program to the senses. If the students are fully trained, no doubt learning process is going to be effective inside the classroom, and the job of the teacher is also going to be so easy, and the concept so easily reaching at the students community. Hope for best this particular point is so much clear, and we can go for the next points, and whatever you are writing in your concept notes, try to write in a very systematic way, and if you are not able to write while I'm explaining, you can take the screenshot also. Later on you can see you can also make your concept notes. And let's go for the next psychological principle, the principle of feedback and the reinforcements. I'm telling very frankly, if as a teacher, if you are giving feedback immediately to the students' interest is going to be enhanced. Whenever the small kid, whenever the students they are replying some answer, if I am immediately telling yes, you have done the work very positively. The way you are done, no one can done. Some verbal reinforcements, sometimes some non-verbal reinforcements, if you are given, and no doubt students are really they're thinking they're getting more feedback, and they're in the position to learn better. Okay, let's move, try to understand again this particular point from the slides. Thorndike law of effect is closely related to the principle of teaching. Hope for best everybody know better about the E.L. Thorndike. The person is known as for the trial and error learning theory. Basically, E.L. Thorndike given the three basic law. Out of these three basic law, one law is a law of effect, is closely related to the principle of teaching. Okay, the immediate knowledge of the results and positive reinforcements in the forms of prize, grades, certificates, token of economy, and other initiatives may play a wonder in making the task of teaching joy. One thing what I observe as a teacher, if you are making such a condition, condition means if you done the best and I'll give a prize, or if you done the best I can give a certificate to you, and if you done the well I can give a token of economic also. That means money, small amount of money also. Difference, this particular things really enhancing the students ability, and they are always trying to understand the concept what the teacher they are teaching inside the classroom. As a teacher, if you are following this particular principle inside the classroom, your classroom is going to be so interesting, your teaching is going to be so dynamic also, and students they can easily reach at the concepts. Hope for the best, everybody will understood this particular points, the principle of feedback and the reinforcements. Friends, let's move for the another points. More or less everybody well aware of about this particular points, the principle of repetition and the principle of exercise. The teacher should show again several times what he is supposed to teach in the class, so that the learners are able to grasp the understand the subject objectivity clearly. That means as a teacher, while you are explaining the concept inside the classroom, try to utter, try to repeatedly you can analyze 2 to 3 times, because the students are so young in nature. Whenever you are done this particular repetition, the same concept, suppose I am teaching to the students the national integration, repeatedly I am telling the what the national, and repeatedly if I am telling to the what integration, no doubt whenever I am telling repeatedly, as a teacher I am in a position to having a positive impact upon the students sense organ, or I can say as a teacher I am in a position to having a positive impact upon the students process of acquisition. And whenever I am as a teacher I am having a positive impact upon the students process of acquisition, no doubt the process of retention is not so far. Whenever the process of acquisition and retention is there, due to my repetition, the learning is going to be the best, I am telling very frankly. It also helps to them to retain in their mind for a longer. As a teacher, whenever you are explaining the concept again and again, no doubt their retention capacity is going to be enhanced. They can able to remember the facts for a long term. Exercise for further practice may also be given as a class work, as a assignments. As a teacher, you have to remember while you are teaching inside the classroom, give students to the assignments, and give to the students the exercise, because we know better if you are doing exercise, you are in the process of a perfection. As a teacher, don't forget to this particular principle. Use this particular principle while you are inside the classroom, and your teaching is going to be something different from others. This is also one of the wonderful principle of the psychological principle of a teaching. As a teacher, if you are using this one, your teaching is going to be so easy in front of the students community, and students they can able to realize the concept so nicely. I hope till now everybody is so clear, because it is a YouTube pedagogy. It is purely a one way traffic teaching. That's why it's because whatever your comments and your question in my message box really giving a feedback to me. And till now again I'm giving a reminding to my loving and caring students, go for the like, go for the share, and have a subscribe to this particular channel. And if you're doing this three activity, I'm telling very frankly, as a teacher I'm really getting the positive energy to continue my class, because making slides and coming with the video, it's not a simple task, and if you're doing this three activity, I can able to continue my class so positively. Thank you dear friends. I hope all of you done the like, share and subscribe. Let's move for the next slides. Dear friends, if you're talking about the principle of sympathy and cooperation, I'm telling very frankly, this is a concept, this is a psychological principle which need a teacher. Until and unless if there is no cooperation in between the student and the teacher, there is no teaching learning process, what I feel during my teaching. And if you are having a positive cooperation within your students, the content is not so far. You can able to transact the content so nicely, and student they are in the position to understand so properly. For this reason, anyway, let's look to the slides and have a try to understand this particular principle once more and better. During teaching, the teacher should pass a sympathetic attitude and cooperative bend of minds. That means as a teacher, because the teacher is a person who is more mature, who is more experienced, who is more unique than that of the students, because the students are immature. As a teacher, you must have a sympathetic attitude towards the students community, because the students are so young, they can do the maximum mistake. But if you are having a positive impact, you can bring to them so easily to the classroom, you can start to teach inside the classroom. And if you are having sympathetic attitudes, if you are cooperative in nature, no tax is going to be hard in front of, no tax is going to be hard for the students. You can transact so easily. Usually the students are afraid of a teacher. A good teacher is always kind and to understand every student. That means if you are because if you want to be a successful teacher, you must have that particular quality. You must have special kindness, you must have a sympathetic attitudes, you must have a cooperative in nature. Then this, because normally the students, they are having very they always feel they are always having a afraid of towards the teacher, and that afraidness should be killed inside the classroom. And if you are having positive attitude, if you are having a sympathetic attitude, if you have the cooperative, if you are in cooperative nature, he shows fatherly affection and motherly cooperation to his students. That means really this particular principle teaching to us, the teacher have to play the role of a father and role of mother. If you are doing these two activities, no doubt you can able to transact your content so nicely, and you can able to reach at the concepts positively. Okay, dear friends, let's move for the new points. Principle of a group dynamic. This is also one of the most important general principle of a teaching. Not general, sorry, it's not about the general principle of a teaching. It's about the psychological principle of a teaching. While you are reaching at the classroom, whole classroom is a group. And whenever you are going to understand this particular thing, you have to understand the group dynamic. The teacher should understand the group dynamic. He tried to inculcate among the students to suitable type of a group behavior. That means as a teacher, you have to understand the group behavior. That is the most important. How this particular group is, how they are behaving towards a teacher. The children learn better in a group. One thing I am sharing very frankly, the students, if you are going to giving a concepts to the students, if you are giving a concept to students to study individually, if you are given the same concept to the students for the study in a group, I am telling one thing here, the group study always wonderful, because while you are teaching in a group, the power of elaboration and power of elaboration and power of exploration. Yes, exactly, the power of exploration is coming so nicely, and by which the students idea is coming to the in front of the classroom. As a teacher, you have to keep in mind this particular students particular things in your minds, because some students are there in the classroom, some group are there in the classroom who are very much explorative in nature. And if you are able to find out this explorative students, your classroom is going to be something different from other classroom. As a teacher, you should keep in mind the principle of group dynamic, because you have to find out this particular group of students. Children learn better in a group. They are also able to develop the quality of a tolerance, cooperation, sacrifice. The teacher should therefore encourage to the group learning. These are the things you have to remember, the principle of a dynamic. Anyway, dear friends, let's come back for the new points. This particular point I have already explained and there. No need to explain this particular point again and again. Just you can able to write in your copy. And I hope the principle of general principle of not general principle. I hope the psychological principle of teaching is completed. Hope for best everybody can getting a clarity, because from my beginning from till now, I am explaining so many points. First of all, I am sharing to all of you what is the principle of a teaching. Then I am telling to all of you the classification of a principle of a teaching, talking about general principle, psychological principle. Then we are talking about the principle of a motivation. After that, I am also explaining the principle of interest. Then after that, I am also talking about the principle of providing training to the senses. Then the principle of a feedback and reinforcement. Then we are also completed the principle of repetition and exercise. Then we are also completed the principle of a sympathy and cooperation. We are also completed the principle of a group dynamic. Dear friends, you are having a patience, you are listening 20 minutes video. Keep patience, and for my for the uh, sustainability of this particular YouTube channel, dear friends, have a like, have a share, have a subscribe. If you are doing this activity, I am coming with very soon with the new video that is known as the level of teaching. Dear friends, go through this particular video, make your concept notes, and make a concept note, make a success to this particular video. And if you are understand the concept so nicely, then no doubt this video is fully going to be success. And finally, thank you to the students community. They are always inspiring to me. Sir, you make a video, and whenever we are free, we can go for your channel, and we can go for the basic concepts. And I hope all the students are taking the class positively, and making your concept notes, and try to understand the psychological principle of teaching. Good evening to all of you, and this much for today. Thank you to all of you having a patience listening to me, and give a positive remarks to DKP Edu Plus channel. Thank you to all of you. Thank you to all of you.